Hi. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Just waiting for people to join. Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope everyone is doing well today and is having a great week. Kind of slow joining in this morning, so I will just wait here for a second, let you guys join in. Kind of a more personal topic today, kind of fun, different, but hopefully just as informative. Good morning. Quiet over there on Facebook today. Are you guys with me? I was just eating my granola. Hello. Hi, Cindy. How are ya? Good morning. Good morning over there on Facebook. Thank you for joining in. Nice to see you all. So today we're going to talk about personal transformation, which I think is timely with everything going on in our lives right now and all the changes that I'm sure all of us are experiencing in different, one way or another. All of us have a different experience right now. I don't think any of us are going through this process exactly the same, but there's a lot of beauty in that. So I want to talk a little bit about that, how to actually achieve your health goals, whether that be emotionally, physically, both, spiritually, whatever. We have to set goals and we have to reach them. And I think a lot of times we lose sight of how to do that. So I want to remind you guys of that, right? And I want to remind you of some more positive energy out there in the world as well. Good morning. Hello. So I am Dr. Trisha Pingel. This is your morning checkup. And my topic today stemmed from a conversation with a really good friend, somebody that I trust, somebody that I really enjoy sharing ideas with, and somebody that absolutely is 100% supportive and open to these types of conversations, which is always nice because I think many times we have friendships where friendships differ, the ideas and the morals and the what they feel is different, and so therefore it's ruining the friendship. Where I really appreciate the friends that I have where we can bounce off ideas and we can learn from each other and we can grow. And I asked her, I said, what do you want to hear about? Like, what types of things do you want me to talk about on my live? And she said, why don't you talk about what we talk about? And that's, whenever something comes up that hurts her or hurts me, or we come in contact with somebody that brings us down, we come together and we talk about ways that we grow from it, ways that we take the high road, ways that we grow and keep moving forward. And I think that's a very, very powerful topic that maybe we don't spend enough time talking about, because the bottom line is, I always talk about how you have the power to control your health. You have the power to turn your health around, right? But that also means emotionally, you have the power to decide who you're going to allow in and who you're not. You have the power to be open and gracious and kind, or you have the power to be completely mean. It's, you control that. And I think sometimes when we're in moments of change, in moments of flux, as we are in our world right now, with so many different viewpoints, so many different opinions, so many people. I mean, I know I've mentioned before, I go on social media to do these lives and I see my feed and it's like people that used to love each other just attacking each other and putting each other down, and nobody's listening to anybody. And it's like, at some point, we have to start removing the things from our lives that bring us down and focusing on the things that lift us up and allow us to grow. And times like this are those times. These are the times where you get to weed through what's going to grow you and what's not. And so sometimes it's best to kind of sit back and kind of take assessment of that. So I'm going to talk to you about how to do that. We're going to talk about different methods of doing that. And, so it's kind of more of a self-reflection day. I think all of us say the wrong thing. All of us do the wrong thing. We all make mistakes. How you grow from those mistakes is totally up to you. Nobody else can control that. And I think so many times we spend so much time letting other people control what we say. There are many things that I would love to talk about here that I can't, because I know I'll get censored, attacked, or otherwise. Now, is that right? I don't know, but I'm just choosing to stay away from that. I could talk about it, but is it worth the negativity? I don't know, So these are the things we're going to talk about. Focus is a hard task for some of us. Absolutely. Carrie, it is a time of opportunity, and I agree with you, and I'm absolutely going to talk about that. Opportunity is a really powerful word right now. If you are faced with a challenge, you can fall or you can use it as an opportunity to grow. And successful people use negative situations as an opportunity to grow and learn and move forward. And it's a trend. You see multiple successful people fall and hit the ground and get back up. I always say that quote, from Batman, like, why do we fall down? It's so we can learn to get back up again, right? So if you don't get back up, you let people beat you down, you let people blame you for everything, you let people's negative energy impact you, you're not going to be able to get up as swiftly as you could. Sometimes you just have to let that go and focus on what you can bring to the world with positivity. And I think it sounds so simple, doesn't it, guys? Like, it sounds like totally simple. Oh yeah, just be positive. But how many times per day do you get caught up in it? You're scrolling through, you see somebody post something, you're like, what are they thinking? Or I don't agree with that. Or you see them attacking somebody and you let that get into your core, into your heart. Like, why? Somebody's voicing an opinion, they're voicing an opinion. Doesn't have to impact you, right? But it's not so easy, is it? It's not. So there are actually lots of mechanisms out there that can help you do this. Focus is a hard task. I got your book the other day. Thank you, Bridget. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this and tips for how to set goals. I think that when we look, most people in the beginning of the year, around the new year, set these New Year's resolutions, and most of the time they fall through, right? And I think most of the time it's because we're setting this huge goal for ourselves, like we're going to change the world tomorrow, or we're going to, have this huge goal that we're going to accomplish in a very short period of time that isn't realistic. And the bottom line is there's multiple types of goals that you need to focus on all the time. Number one, of course, there is, your professional goals. You've got your family goals. You've got your emotional goals, right? How can you grow as a person? There are some things that people say to me and it triggers anger. Why? That's something I need to work on, right? I'm a very much perfectionist. When I try to accomplish something, if it doesn't go the way that I want, the old me used to totally break down. And the new me breaks down for about 15, 20 minutes and then realizes, okay, you must be growing because you fell down. You fell down. Something didn't go as you wanted. That means that there's another route for you. You need to open your eyes. You need to open your heart. You need to be kind. You need to look for the people to support you through this time because there is an answer, right? I think so many times we let all this get us down, but that's an emotional goal. So a lot of people are like, for example, in January, they're like, well, I want to lose 10 pounds. So there's a lot of things. If you're going to set a goal like that, I'll reference that one a few times today. What are the things you have to do in order to accomplish that? Just saying it isn't enough, right? You have to do things. And you also have to look at the emotional component of that, the time component of that, the realism of that, and the why, my mom said to me right before she passed, I asked her, do you have any regrets in life? And I remember she was in my guest room and my husband had made her a steak and she ate like 2 bites of it because she was very, very, very thin. She had been on chemotherapy and she was very weak. And she really wanted a glass of wine and a steak because I think she knew it was towards the end. And she took like 1 bite of steak and 1 glass of wine. And there was the biggest smile just from that one moment of gratitude. And I asked her, I said, do you have any regrets? And she said, you know what I regret the most? And I said, what's that? And she goes, that damn 10 pounds I chased. She goes, how much of my life did I miss out on over 10 pounds? Just think about that for a second. It doesn't have to be weight, but think about the little things, the pressure that you put on yourself to be something for somebody else. And I asked her why she worried about 10 pounds. And she said it was for other people. It was for how she looked to other people. And she said she would have given anything in that moment to have 10 pounds because she had lost 30% of her body weight. She was skin and bones. I mean, there was nothing there. She said she would give anything in that moment. And anything to go back to those moments and cherish the other things that were around her in that moment instead of worrying about that 10 pounds. That was life-changing for me. Because I think as a woman, we worry so much about outward appearance. We worry so much about outward appearance. We worry so much about what other people think. And there are times where you just have to let that go. You have to do what's good for you, for your soul, for your life, for your health, and not worry so much about what other people think of it. The position that I'm in being here and talking to people and having people following me, a lot of people place expectations on what they expect from me, what they expect me to talk about. A lot of people expect me to get involved in social issues. They expect me to get involved in political issues, and I don't. And the reason I don't is because that's not what helps us grow. What helps us grow is finding that love within you and spreading it with other people, and taking care of our health and focusing on being good to one another, and picking a side and getting up and preaching about it is not necessarily going to help very many people, but I think everyone worries about what other people are going to think from that, and that's hindering all of us from hitting this personal transformation. It's hindering all of us from allowing this moment, this exact moment, to allow us to be a better person. For those of you on Facebook, I don't know why it's getting interrupted, but this will replay. My end is fine, so it will come back, or pop over to Instagram at Dr. Pingel. I think that really was life-changing for me. It changed the way that I look at my life in many different ways. Being grateful for what I have, being grateful for the support system that I have, and following my intuition and gut. I think so many people don't follow their intuition. Have you ever met someone and had a conversation and your gut said, nope, this isn't going to work, but you fight for it anyway? Or like something comes along and, a challenge, and your heart says, no, I need to go this way, but your mind says, no, you have to stay over here. You have to make this work. Think about relationships, divorces, friendships, all these things. How many times have you avoided your gut, and let your emotions 100% rule you? Intuition is key, okay? I don't see any situation where being negative and bringing other people down or putting your expectations on other people is helpful to anyone. I just don't. Took me a long time to get there, but now that I'm there, I look, and every time something like that happens, I think, well, that other person's going through a process. They're going through a process of growth, and I need to just support that and recognize that and not let that impact me. You have an option to change what you're going to do today. I just said to my son yesterday, 2 days ago, he's 12 and testosterone's kicking in and he's getting mean. Like, there's some stuff he said to me and I was like, whoa, dude, like, hey, like, slow down. And I said to him, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Who cares what happened yesterday? You have to change. You have to grow. You have to recognize what happened. And that comes to my first point. When you're looking at 10 tips, if I were to give you 10 tips for how to set a goal and actually achieve it, the first thing you need to do is reflect on where you've been. What have you learned, right? What experiences have taught you something? Whether they were hard, whether they were easy, the emotions that came around it, whether it was loss, whether it was gain, whatever it is, what have you gone through in your life and how has that shaped you? And are those things that you have been shaped with a positive thing or a negative thing? Which things do you need to ditch and which things do you need to support? This all comes from within. You can't convince someone else to do that. They have to do it themselves. Everyone has to look into their own past. They have to decide what pivotal moments are going to change them. That moment with my mom changed my life forever. I could pinpoint it. And I'm so happy. And a week later, she was gone. Negative, sad, horrible moment gave me an opportunity to grow beyond a level that I was ever able to do if I didn't go through that experience. Take that experience and grow from it. That is number one. Reflect on where you've been. Notice your mistakes. Notice where you're weak, right? Notice the areas you can improve on. And make an action and a goal to improve that. Emotionally, spiritually, physically, Okay, that's number one. That's the first goal you do. So I want all of you to do that today. Just reflect on your life and decide where you could grow. And it's okay to not be perfect. We aren't, okay? We suck. Humans are the most self-destructing species out there. We tear ourselves down, we tear other people's down because we're not able to grow from whatever emotion we're feeling. We need to grow from that. Am I wrong? All of us do stupid things. We all say dumb things. We all overreact. Now what? Right? What's the next phase? Where are we going to go from here? That's number one. Well, actually, that's number two. My number 2 point is, where do you want to go now? So you've reflected on your life. You reflected what you need to improve on. You reflected what goals you have. Now, where do you want to go? Now, when you do that, I would suggest you set a short-term goal. Okay, so you set a short-term goal like a week or 30 days or 3 months. And then you have goals beyond that you can grow from. Now, whether you know exactly where theirs are going, sometimes you don't. You have, I usually try to set a goal for a month, a goal for 3 months, a goal for a year, and a goal for 5 years. And the 5 years goal kind of changes a little bit as I grow. The things that maybe were important to me 2 years ago, well, I'll say 4 years ago. My mom died 3.5 years ago. The goals that I set 5 years ago for where I'm going to be today don't apply anymore because I've grown. I think back then what I determined success is not what I think success is now. I was diagnosed with a brain tumor and it changed my life. Yeah, I bet. Much love to you. Really. You will grow. And that's okay, and that's good. Sometimes that happens for a reason, and we just have to do what we can do with every moment that we have. So God bless you, and keep moving forward. Thank you for sharing. It's stories like that keep me going. What kept me going 5 years ago might have been money or like success, business growing, and things like that. What keeps me going right now is hearing stories like that. Hearing stories from you guys that tells me that my message gets through to you and helps you grow, helps you become more positive to the people around you. That's what gets me going now. So my goals for the next 5 years are totally different than they were 5 years ago, and that's okay. But that's why you have to set shorter goals as well. How am I going to get there? Okay, and look at all those different aspects. Emotionally, physically, financially, where do you want to see your family? What are the positive steps you're going to take to get there? And how are you going to lift other people up in the process? I've started adding that in. That's new. When I was in my 20s, I didn't think about the people around me and I'm so headstrong and I'm very driven. That is just me. I've been that way since I was a kid, and my 9-year-old is exactly the same way. And it drives me absolutely insane because I'm like, dude, let it go, but he's boom, 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 boom. I'm the same way. And in my 20s, I just ran. I just went. I had a goal. I got there. Like, it didn't really matter what I did, but I got there, right? I didn't think about who I would step on the way, right? Didn't think about that. Now that I'm older and looking back at the loss I've gone through and the advice that I've taken from other people and listening to other patients' stories, people's stories that are sharing with me, the opportunity that I get to listen to all of you and to learn from all of you now has taught me that I can still move forward with my goal without stepping on anybody else. So think about that. Think about other people as well. Once you've picked your goals, you've set your goals, define them by category, because there are different aspects of goal setting, right? So there's financial goals, there's personal goals. You may want to be more specific, like, hey, I'd really like to improve this relationship with somebody. Just keep in mind it may not work. Maybe that person's not at the same place you are. That's okay. Someday they may be, and hopefully they'll be open to rekindling. That's okay. I personally reevaluate my goals regularly. I used to do it yearly and I never accomplished anything. For example, I've never been great at drinking water. I am now, but it took me some time, in fact. I started slow. I said, okay, well, I'm going to increase my water by 8 ounces every week over the course of a month. And that's what I did. And now I regularly drink the right amount of water. It was changing a habit. It was making a focus. And that's what helped me get there. So divide it into categories, take one step small at a time. I have a comment over here. Hang on a second. Losing my dad was devastating. I'm sorry, Kelly, I'm reading this. Losing my dad was devastating, and the fear of losing my mom scares me even more. My father would want me to stay focused, stay healthy, and you always said, take care of yourself and your health, and I'm going to listen to his advice. I was always worried about everybody else. Yeah, I mean, fear is a tough one. I don't know how many of you saw the live I did on how fear impacts the brain and your ability and judgment. But it actually impacts the amygdala and the hippocampus and causes downregulation in the prefrontal cortex. What does that mean? It means that when you have fear and you act out of anger, it actually lowers your judgment. Okay? So you don't make good decisions when you're in fear. So one goal that I made for myself around the time my mom died was I was not going to let fear dictate what I did. I would recognize the fear, I would acknowledge the fear, and I would ask if the fear was really valid or if it was just me. How you look at death, Kelly, depends on your outlook. I had another really good friend. I don't know if she's watching today or not, but a spiritual advisor, a Reiki practitioner, somebody that I trust. But she talked to me a lot about death and feeling connected and recognizing the energies around me that are them trying to connect with me. And since I opened up to that, and since I allowed myself to recognize that this is part of a cycle of life and this is something that we can grow from and learn from and take gratitude from, it has changed my outlook. I'm very sad that I don't have my parents anymore. I'm very sad that I don't have my grandparents. I'm very sad that I don't have many pets that fulfilled my life. But to let that stop me from growing and to be afraid of something and let something hold me back because I'm afraid is not going to help. And spreading that fear to other people is not going to help either. And I'm sure wherever they are, they look down and agree with me. And I just have to remind myself of that. But Kelly, it's constant work. You have to work on yourself. You have to work on your outlook. That's it. That's all you can do. Sorry, guys, little digress. But once again, your stories matter. How many of you are coming together right now in this moment to hear this message? Be grateful for one another. When you set these goals, often it puts you outside your comfort zone, and I think that's where this fear comes in. You say, okay, I'm going to be more accepting of this, or I'm going to listen to this, or I'm going to open my viewpoint to this, or I'm going to grow to this level. Maybe it's something as simple as you don't like to public speak, and now you're like, okay, I'm going to go out and give a speech, right? It's outside your comfort level, but it's good for you. Okay? It's good. Go for it. It's going to put you outside your comfort level a little bit, and that's okay. My first live, guys, when I came out here and started talking, I was petrified. Now I thoroughly, 100% look forward to seeing all you every single day. I came over my fear. I got over it. And I'm a better person for it. So, very important. Writing down your goals can help. Making them measurable, following them in a journal can really help. Sometimes that takes a lot of extra effort and it takes a lot of time, but it's good for you. Write things down so that you can go back and you can reflect. There was a reason in my program I included a journal, and a lot of people ask why. I don't want to journal every day. I don't want to write these long things. And I'm like, no, that's not the point. The point is sometimes we get so caught up with the goal that we don't notice the little things that happen along the way. So let's say your goal is to lose 30 pounds, and let's say you lose 3, and then you're like, I only lost 3 pounds. God. How about I lost 3 pounds? I only have 7 more to go. Whatever. Or, sometimes noticing those little things, those little moments of growth. You scrolled through Facebook and you didn't give in to somebody who is trying to aggravate you. That's a positive, right? So, just write it down. Pay attention to what you're doing. Be grateful. Show gratitude to yourself and to others, okay? Now, I think one of the most important things to ask, and this goes back to my story about my mom and her, wishing she didn't focus so much on that 10 pounds, is ask yourself why. Why are you creating this goal? If you reach out to someone, I've had many people reach out to me and say, this is what we think you should do. This is what we think you should do with this or that or this. And when I ask, well, why are they doing that? Is it for my benefit or for their benefit? Should I do it? Does it benefit my message? Does it support what I'm trying to do? Why? Why should I put energy somewhere for a particular goal? Does it hit my ultimate goal? And I think a lot of people set goals. My mom had this goal to lose 10 pounds. She was a beautiful, active, strong woman. Nobody noticed the 10 pounds. She noticed it, right? And she thought other people noticed it. Why did she put so much pressure on herself to lose that 10 pounds? Right? Now, if your why is, well, my blood sugar's high, my cholesterol's high, and losing weight will help me improve my health and become more active, that's a great why. That's a fantastic why. That's exactly why you should do it. But if the why is, well, I really feel like I should be a size 4, that's not a reason, guys, right? Right? Focus on why you want to accomplish something. If you're going to reach out to someone and ask someone's viewpoint, or put someone else down, ask why you're doing it. Why are you doing it? Because there's probably a nicer way to do it. You know, if you know your why, if you want to challenge someone's thought, let's say someone says something and you don't agree with it, you have an option of attacking them with being rude or you have an option of saying, you know what, I'm sorry, I don't know if I agree. Can you talk to me more about it? Let's have a conversation, right? Why? Why post that? Why say that? Why put so much pressure on yourself? Why change to a plant-based diet? Why change your goals, right? Why? Ask your question that all the time before anything comes out of your mouth, okay? That's all I'm asking, right? And when you're setting a goal, the why matters. Otherwise, you won't get there. Why did I have to increase my water intake? Because I was exhausted, I was getting headaches, and I could tell that something wasn't right. So I said, well, I'm gonna do this experiment. I'm gonna add more water and I'm gonna see if it makes a difference. And it did. So my why worked, you know? So anyway, there will always be challenges. There will always be somebody who tries to take you down every single time. Yvonne is saying sometimes it's hard to be positive when you have a lot of negative Nancys around you. Absolutely. But you know what? Negative Nancys have their own thing they're dealing with. They're dealing with their own struggle. They're dealing with their own growth. That's their issue. Whether you want to let that hit your heart and stop you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish, unfortunately, is 100% up to you. I'd love to blame someone else and say, oh, well, they put me in a bad mood, so that's why I didn't get this done. But no, I didn't get it done because I let that impact my mood. And I'm the one that didn't get it done. Shoot. Right? That's on me, right? So it is hard when there's a lot of negative energy. And you guys, it's out there, isn't it? Seriously, I think more so in the past 4 months, I have seen more anger and more negative Nellies and more people bringing people down than ever before. And it breaks my heart, absolutely breaks my heart. But it's not my process to go through. I choose not to contribute to that. I choose to be here and try to uplift the rest of you, and hopefully it gives a positive impact to you and allows you to lift yourself and lift others. Consider those challenges. Consider the challenges you're going to face. You know, one of my challenges with the water was, and this is so simple, but I don't, if I get glasses of water, I don't drink them. But if I put it in something like this and I carry it around with me all day, I drink all my water. Still my biggest challenge. So if this doesn't get filled up or I leave it somewhere, like let's say I leave it upstairs and I come downstairs, I won't drink water until I go back upstairs and find it, right? It doesn't matter how many faucets I pass or how many glasses I pass. It doesn't matter. For some reason, this bottle is my habit. If my hands are on the bottle, I'm drinking water. You have to create a habit, right? And you have to recognize the challenges that are going to stop you from getting to that habit. And once you do that, those habits actually fall into place. People that try to stop smoking, sometimes they suck on suckers. Why? Because there's a habit of having something in their mouth, right? You know, there's all sorts of different tricks. And this goes for every different type of goal. Financial goals, many people say, well, I need to save or put aside more money. Well, put $5 more in your savings account every month if that's all you can afford. $5. Doesn't have to be $400 or $1,000. Start somewhere. Recognize the challenges that you're going to have and grow from there, right? And keep track of yourself. Keep track of it. Reward yourself. Please show gratitude. Show gratitude for the little things that you've done in every single day, because all you have is this moment. What I just said 10 minutes ago is gone. I mean, you can replay it, but it's gone, right? Right now is my moment. This is the moment. I can't change what I said 10 minutes ago. All I can do is change what I say moving forward. Okay? So recognize that, track it, Write it down, reward yourself for the positive things that you've done, and stop dwelling on the things that you did wrong, because we all screw up. And that's just life. And that's what makes us human. And that's why I love everybody out there. I love how different we are. I love that we all have different perspectives. I love that we all see things differently, that we've all had different experiences, that we can learn from each other, that we can share each other's stories. That's my favorite thing about this platform that I'm on, is learning more from you guys. There's some stuff that you guys say and I'm like, wow, you know what? I didn't think about that. Or that's an interesting viewpoint. Maybe I'll change the way I say it next time, because maybe I didn't quite articulate what I was trying to get across. Learn from each other. And then review and revise your goals as needed. Like I said, the goals that I set for myself 5 years ago aren't relevant. I changed. I grew. And the goals that I'm setting now are on a whole nother level. And I could sit there and say, God, Trisha, you did not reach the goal that you set out for yourself. Or I could say, wow, Trisha, you've grown and your goals have now changed. And that's freaking awesome. You know, I have no doubt in my life that friendships have been lost by something I've done, something I've said. I have no doubt that there are situations that I could have done something differently. And maybe many of those people in my life still dwell on it. Maybe many of those people haven't grown to move past it. But a lot of times people ask me how I forgive, why I forgive, and why I move forward. And it's because that energy is not worth hanging on to. You know, I'm the first person to admit when I'm wrong. Sometimes we do stupid things, and then we grow from that. So review, revise, grow, forgive, listen. Sounds so easy, right? I want to remind you of something before I go. And this goes back to when we talked about anxiety, the brain, and what fear does to your brain in one of the lives. There was a quote that I think is really pertinent to today. Water. Which is, the first step to achieving a more peaceful life is to ask yourself if this situation is worth sacrificing your health. Is it worth it? Right? If it's worth it, if it helps you achieve a positive goal, then you have to do it. If it's not, maybe not. You know, maybe think on it longer. That's all. I have many patients who work 10 to 12 hour days. They make a choice to do that. I personally can't do that. It tears me down. It ruins my health. And I had to make that decision many years ago, whether or not I was going to continue to burn myself out, or whether I was going to use that opportunity to teach me how to actually help people without sending negative energy their way. Sometimes we have to make choices that don't go in line with the goals that we have. There were many goals that I had when I graduated med school that I had to abandon because I thought I could take on the world, and I recognized that I couldn't. I could only do small little steps towards that. And because of that, I think I'm stronger than I would have been if I would have continued on that trajectory. Don't beat yourself up so much. Sometimes it's not worth the stress that it puts on your body. So just think about that anytime you're going to make a decision, or you're trying to figure out, you're saying to yourself, which all of us do, like, oh, I'm so stressed out, but I can't do that because I've got that. I have to do that. I've got to go do that. I have to go here. I have to go there. You don't have to. You get to. I get to go to work today. I get to help somebody today. I don't have to. I'm choosing to. Words are powerful, guys. Words are really, really powerful. That's what I got to say on that. So, anyway, this was all about goal setting, individual transformation, growing emotionally, physically, helping other people, being there for other people, and recognizing when negative energies are not improving your health. So focus on those friendships that build you up. Focus on your intuition. try to always ask yourself why and how this is going to help yourself and others. And then reframe the situation and have gratitude. That's my best advice for today. I hope this was helpful to all of you. I know it was a more personal topic, but I want to thank that very good friend who knows who she is that told me to talk about this today. And I hope that it lifted most of you, if not all of you. That was my goal. And I look forward to being here tomorrow. I can't wait to see you all tomorrow morning around the same time with another topic. And thank you to all of you who share your stories, who remind me why I'm here. I am grateful for you, and you lift me up. And you are why I do what I do. Much love to all of you. Go have a fantastic Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.